40 Ultimate Word Tips and Tricks, updated for 2020. This video is the ultimate compilation of word tips and tricks to enhance your skills using Microsoft Word. I've combined long-established tips and tricks featured in previous videos with prominent new ones Microsoft added in 2019 and 2020. You'll find these tips and tricks useful whether you're using Word for the first time or just wanting to enhance your Word skills. For the complete list of contents, please refer to the description of this video. Let's get started. Number 1. Line spacing. Here's a trick to change the line spacing on your text. Just click anywhere inside of a paragraph, hit Ctrl+2 to change it to double line spacing. Ctrl+1 takes it back to single, and Ctrl+5 does 1.5. You can do the same thing by selecting a range of text. It's just a quicker method to change the line spacing. Number 2. Dictate. Dictate is a new feature available in Office 365 versions of Word. It allows you to transcribe your voice directly into a Word document, and it's available under the Home tab right here. This is a test of my voice recording directly into Microsoft Word. Dictate also lets you select from different languages, and as you can see, there are a number of previewed languages that are going to be added into Microsoft Word in the future. It's a great option to record your document rather than typing it. Number 3. Read aloud. Not only does Microsoft Word allow you to record your voice into a document, it will read it back to you. Just highlight the text you want to read, go to the Review tab, click on Read Aloud.
This is a test of my voice recording directly into Microsoft Word.
It also gives you options here where you can change to a different voice, and you can adjust the reading speed.
This is a test of my voice recording directly into Microsoft Word.
It's a great way to review your document. Number 4. Quick lines. Want to draw lines quickly into your document? Use -- enter, and it creates a line for you. Use _ 3 times, enter, and it's a bolder line. Equals, and you get a double line. Asterisks, and you get a dashed line. You can use multiple symbols right up there by the number keys, and you can get a variety of different lines quickly into your document. Give it a try. Number 5. Researcher. Researcher is a great tool to add external content into your Word document. It's available under References, Researcher. You start by entering a topic that you want to research. It brings up a list of relevant topics that you can select from. If you look at the detail on any kind of text information, you can select part of it and add it into your document just by adding and citing that information. And as you see here, it inserted that text. It created a bibliography with a link to the original source. You can even select pictures. You can also further break down your information between journals, websites, and books, and select topics within each one of those. To find a particular article, to research that information as well. Any of the information that's inserted in your document is referenced, and you can hit the Control click to follow those to the actual website. Researcher uses the Bing search engine to find this information so you can insert it into your Word document. So you have a ton of information at your fingertips. Number 6. Quick font size. If you want to change the font size really quickly, just highlight your text and hold down the Control, Shift, and the greater than. That increases the font. Less than shrinks it back down. It's the same thing as using these buttons up here. Number 7. Vertical select. Normally when you select text, it does it in order, But you can do a vertical selection by holding down the Alt key. Once you've done that, then you can change the color, change fonts, change the size, or do a variety of other things on that group of text. That's the vertical selection. Number 8, clipboard multi-paste. You're probably familiar with copy and paste using Control-C and Control-V or right-clicking on text. But the clipboard actually allows you to do multiple pasting of text. You can click on this little icon down here in the corner to bring up the clipboard, and when you highlight a group of text and hit Control-C or right-click on it and copy it, it creates the text in the clipboard. You can do multiple copies, and it retains each one individually. Now when I go to a new location, I can just click on the one that I want to paste and select from that list. There's also an option available here where you can show the clipboard when Control-C is pressed twice. So if that's closed and you highlight text and you hit Control-C twice, it brings up the clipboard. That's a quick method to doing multi-paste. Number 9, shrink one page. If you have text that overlaps onto a second page, there is a quick method you can do to shrink this down to one page. Just go up to the Quick Access toolbar, go to More Commands, change this to All Commands, and in the list, do a search for Shrink to One Page. Select it, add it to the menu, and hit OK. Now you need to select all your text, click the button to shrink to one page, and it condenses everything down to make it fit within that one page. Number 10, dark mode. You may prefer changing the theme in Microsoft Word to dark mode. There's an option for that available by going to File, Options, and under General you'll see this Office theme setting right here. It defaults to colorful, but you can change it to black and hit OK. Now you have dark mode. There's another option by going to File, Options, and changing this to dark gray, which I personally like a little better. Now this setting affects all the Microsoft Office apps, not just Word, so be aware of that. You can also change the background white color on your page by setting the page color to a dark mode or a gray. So you have those options available as well. Number 11, share to email. Typically, when you have a Word document and you want to send it to somebody as an email, you save the document, go into your Outlook email, attach the Word document to your email, and send it. But there's a way you can do this directly in Word. Just go to File, Share, and here you have multiple choices. You can save it in your OneDrive folders, or you can do a Word document attachment or a PDF. Choose Word. It opens Outlook and allows you to address your email and send the document as an attachment. When it's complete, you're back in Word and you can continue on working on that document. It's a much easier method of sending your document as an attachment in an email. Number 12, insert date and time. Word provides a simple method to add the date and time anywhere in your document. Just click where you want it located, go to the Insert tab, and select date and time from the menu. It gives you a choice of the format that you want to choose for your date. Hit OK, and it inserts it into your document. You may also want the date and time or other types of information to show up on every page. That's where the footer and header come in. We're going to go ahead and insert a header, select the blank type, and in this location we're going to go back to Insert, Date and Time, and select the date again. Now it's going to be on the top of each page. You can do the same thing for a footer, so use this method as an easy way to add the date and time to your documents. Number 13, convert text to table. If you've typed columns and rows of data using the Tab key, it's easy to convert this to a table. Just highlight your data, go to Insert, under Table, select Convert Text to Table. It should default to the columns and rows based on the data you've selected. If that's correct, hit OK, and it converts it into a table format. At this point, you can adjust the columns and rows just like you would another table, and you can change the border to no borders if you want to make it look like your original. Now that it's in a table format, you can do all kinds of things like paint the borders, change the shading, and pick different formats. Gives you a lot more flexibility than using the Tab key. Number 14, formulas in tables. Word allows you to apply formulas to data in tables. First, let's go ahead and insert a table. We'll make it 3 by 3. And we'll insert some numbers in here. And now let's go ahead and take the sum of these two numbers in this column right here. Go to the Layout tab, click on Formula, and it automatically does sum of the above items by default. Hit OK, and you have the sum of those two numbers. You can do the same thing here. Defaults to sum of above, and you've got those two numbers. Let's say we want to take the sum of everything to the left. Well, it defaults that way. You can hit OK, and it sums those. You can do a variety of different things here, though. Let's go ahead and do a formula. Instead of the sum, we'll take the product of everything to the left. And now it's multiplied those two numbers. There are a number of different functions available in the list, including the if statement, which helps you to create complex formulas. Also remember, in the formula you can reference above, left, right, and below. Number 15, calculate. Did you know there's a way to do simple math in a Word document? Just come up here to your Quick Access toolbar, go to More Commands, select All Commands, and in the list, find Calculate. Click on it and add it to your menu, hit OK, and now the Calculate button is available up here. If you have a formula on the screen, just highlight it, click the Calculate button, and the results of that formula will show up down here on your taskbar. Number 16, insert hyperlink. You can easily insert hyperlinks into your Word document. Just highlight a word and press Ctrl-K. This brings up the Insert Hyperlink screen where you can link it to an existing file or web page, a place in this document, create a new document, or link it to an email address. We'll leave it a web page for now, and we'll put in the address of the location we want it to link to. Hit OK, and now it creates the underscore in blue where you can hit Control-Click to follow the link. If you right-click on the hyperlink, you can edit it and make changes to the names or update the address. Number 17, Smart Lookup. Smart Lookup is another method to find information about your topics on your Word document easily. Just highlight a word, right-click on it, do Search, and it brings up the Smart Lookup search where you can get information regarding that subject. It's that simple. Number 18, remove leading spaces. If you copy text and you end up with spaces at the beginning and you want to get rid of them, here is the quickest method. Just highlight it, select the bullet points, and then select it again to turn it off. That clears those leading spaces. Number 19, save as PDF. Microsoft Word makes it very easy to save a document out as a PDF. Just go to File, Export, and here you can change the file type to a variety of different options, but we're going to create a PDF document. Click Create, give it a name, select your location, and you can choose some options here if you want to adjust the document, and then Publish. And it opens the document in PDF format. That's all there is to it. Number 20, Format Painter. Format Painter allows you to copy the text formatting from one area to another. Just click anywhere inside of your text that you want to copy the formatting, go up to the Home tab under Format Painter, and select the area you want to copy that formatting to. Format Painter works with any of the format options in here, like the size, the color, bold, italic, underline, or other types of formatting. Number 21, Resume Assistant. Resume Assistant is a brand new tool to help you build your resume in Word. It's available by going to the Review tab and clicking on Resume Assistant. Here you define a role, and in this case I took the Assistant Hotel Manager from the resume that we have as a sample. And it pulls information directly from the profiles of other users on LinkedIn. You can then choose an industry if you want to, or you can filter these results by different skills. It provides multiple profile information, and you can go into the details to help use this text for your own resume. The Resume Assistant also provides top skill information for that position and articles about how you can improve your resume. It's a great resource to help build your own resume. Number 22, insert file path. Sometimes it's useful to reference the original file location in your document so that you can find it later. So let's do an insert of a footer. And in this location, we want to add the file location so it prints out with this document. Go up to the Customize Quick Access toolbar, More Commands, select All Commands, and in this list find Insert File Path. Select it, add it, and hit OK. Now when you click on this location, you can select this button to insert the document file path, and it will print out with your Word document. Number 23, insert screenshot. Did you know you can insert a screenshot from another application into your Word document? Just go to the Insert tab, select Screenshot, and all the available windows are listed. Select one, and it inserts the image of that window into your document. Now you can resize it and move it around as needed. There's another option, if you go to Insert Screenshot, where you can select a screen clipping. That allows you to capture an image and insert just that image into your document. Number 24, page numbering. You can easily add page numbers to your Word document. Just go to the Insert tab, select Page Number, and then choose between these four options: the top of the page, the bottom of the page, in the margins, or at the current position where your cursor is located. We'll do to the top of the page, and we'll select this format right here in the center. And you can see that it's numbered the pages 1, 2, 3. You have some additional options available here. If you don't want the first page to have a page number, check this box, and it'll start with page 2. You can also do different odd and even pages. That will skip page 2 and then go to page 3. When you're done with these settings, close the header and footer, and now those are locked in. Number 25, sort lists. You can sort a list of names or numbers. Simply highlight the list, and on the Home tab, go to this option right here for Sort. It defaults to paragraphs and text, and you can choose ascending or descending order. Hit OK, and it sorts them alphabetically. You can do the same thing with a series of numbers, and it defaults to number. Hit OK, and it sorts that list as well. And if you have 2 columns of data, you can sort that as well, but you're going to have to change this to a table first. And then you can go back to the Home and do the sort. Now it gives you the option to sort by column 1 or column 2, and you can choose ascending or descending order on either one of those. This is by column 1. Now let's do it by column 2 first, and column 1 second. And you can see it's sorted by number. So if you want more than one column, you're going to have to make sure to convert it to a table first before you do the sort. Number 26, superscript and subscript. You can do superscript and subscript by highlighting the text that you want to convert. Right-click on it, go to Font, and check the box for superscript or subscript. There is a shortcut to do the same thing. When you have your text highlighted, do Control+ for subscript and do Control+Shift+ for superscript. That's a shortcut method to do the same thing. Number 27, Control key. The Control key is very handy to help you navigate around a Word document. For example, you can do Control right arrow to move around one word at a time. If you do Control left arrow, it takes you back one word at a time. Control backspace deletes the previous word. Control down arrow moves one paragraph down, and Control up arrow moves one paragraph up. If you hold Control Shift and hit the down arrow, it highlights an entire paragraph at a time. Up arrow unhighlights it. If you do Control Home, it takes you to the beginning of the document. Control End takes you to the end of the document. And if you hold the Control key down and click in a sentence, it highlights that entire sentence. You're also aware of the Control C to copy and Control V to paste. So the Control key is very powerful. Number 28, Mouse Select. You can also select text using your mouse. Click anywhere and it positions the cursor in that location. If you double click, it selects the entire word, and if you triple click, it selects the entire paragraph. Pick a starting location and hold the left mouse key down, drag it, and you can select a group of text. Once you've selected text, you can go anywhere inside of it, hold the left mouse key, and drag that text to a different location. When you release, it pastes it there. Choose a starting point, move to the end point, and hold the Shift key and click, and it selects everything in between. Highlight some text, hold the Control key down, and highlight a second set of text, and now you can move them together. If you move over to the margin, you can click to select an individual row. Hold the left mouse key down and drag, and you can select multiple rows. If you highlight a little bit of text and you right drag it to a new location, it brings up the menu where you can choose what you want to do with that text. Move it, copy it, or link it. So let's move it there. So the mouse is very powerful just by itself. Number 29, Translator. Translator is available to users of Microsoft Office or Microsoft 365 versions of Word. You can highlight a section of text, go to Review, choose Translate, and then translate that selection. This takes the English version of the text that I just selected and converts it into other languages. It defaults to English, but you can choose from a variety of different languages. Let's take French, for example. It converts the text to French, and then we can choose to insert it back into the document. Since I'm highlighted on that same set of text, it's just going to replace it with the French version. But if I did the same thing and just clicked outside of that text, then did insert, it adds the French version of that text separately. If you click the double arrows, it actually swaps the order so that it now converts it in reverse. And so it's taking our French text that we just created, converting it back to English, and I can click somewhere and insert that. You'll notice that it changed some of the wording a little bit in the translation. If you were to choose the entire document, it can do an auto detect of the language, convert it into whatever language you choose from the list, and it translates and creates a completely new document. There are additional settings available here where you can offer to translate the content that isn't in a language I read, yes or no, and you can add additional languages. There are a number available in Microsoft Office. Translator is a great tool to work with different languages in Word. Number 30, Scroll Zoom. You're probably used to using the mouse wheel to scroll up and down in your document, but you can hold the Control key down and use the same wheel to zoom in and zoom out of the document. Congratulations, you've made it through 3/4 of the tips and tricks list. The rest will continue in 15 seconds, but please take a moment right now to subscribe to Sealy Training and click the bell icon to get notified when new videos are released. Don't forget, the entire 40 tips and tricks list is in the description of this video with hyperlinks to each. Now let's get back to it. Number 31, Get Add-ins. Office Add-ins is a tool that's available for Microsoft Office users. You can access it by going to the Insert tab and clicking on Get Add-ins. Here you'll find a number of add-ins that can be installed into your Microsoft Word application. There are many different ones available, including one of my favorites, which is QR for Office. This add-in allows you to create 3D barcodes and insert them into Word. With most of these add-ins, you just click the Add button, install it, it opens the add-in, and the next time you want to access it, you can go to My Add-ins to see which ones you have installed. There are thousands of add-ins available. If you do a search, you'll find one that I'm sure will work for you. Number 32, Show Formatting. As you work with Microsoft Word, sometimes it's helpful to see the formatting that you might have applied to different areas of your text. You can access that from the Home tab by clicking this button right here to show the formatting. You can see that there's a dot between each representing a space. This is a carriage return, this is a paragraph, and you can see where page breaks are as well. You can edit in this mode if it's helpful, and when you're done you can just turn it back off. It's useful when you can't quite get the formatting right and you need to see what's in there. Number 33, Microsoft Editor. With the change from Microsoft Office to Microsoft 365 in the summer of 2020, Microsoft added a new tool called Editor. It works similar to Grammarly in that it checks your document and gives you grammar suggestions, spell check, and other features. It's available from the Home tab. Just click on Editor with the document that you have open, and it goes through and makes suggestions. Here it's suggesting a grammar change. When you click on it, it tells you that this, for example, should have a comma after. Select that, it makes the change, and you move on to the next grammar check, if there are any. It's a great tool to help you improve your writing skills. I'll also mention that if you go to File, Options, in Proofing, check this box to show readability statistics and hit OK. Then when you're checking your document with the editor, it also brings up this readability statistics page and gives you a bunch of information about your document, including the grade level of your writing. A great way to improve your writing skills. Number 34, AutoText. AutoText is a way to store frequently used phrases and insert them into your Word document. You can access it by going to the Insert tab under Quick Parts. First thing you need to do is highlight the text that you want to store, click on the Quick Parts, go to AutoText, and save the selection to the AutoText gallery. Here it allows you to create a new building block. You give it a name, you can select which gallery you want to store it as, but we'll do AutoText. You can choose the general or create a new category. You can give it a more detailed description. You can save this under normal or under building blocks. And you can choose how do you want to insert this data into your Word document. Just the content, or put it in its own paragraph or on its own page. Hit OK. And now when you're working in a document you want to insert AutoText, just come up here to Quick Parts, select it from the menu, and it inserts it for you. If you want to organize these AutoTexts, you can come back into the Quick Parts area, go to the Building Blocks Organizer, and you'll see a list of all the building blocks including the AutoText. There's the entry recreated. You can delete it or edit it and manage everything right there. AutoText is a great way to speed up the creation of your Word documents. Number 35, Keep Text Only. There are two quick methods to removing the formatting on text in your document. One is to highlight the text, right-click and copy it, and then right-click and paste it to a new location, but when you paste it, choose this Keep Text Only. That removes all the formatting. The other is to highlight your text, and on the Home tab, choose this button right here to clear all formatting. You'll notice that it cleared everything, but it did not do the highlight area. Choose the option that works best for you. Number 36, Search. Microsoft has enhanced the search capability in all of the Office apps, and at the top of Word there is a search option. Here you see your recently used actions, suggested actions, recent searches, and files that you've opened up recently. If you type in a topic that you want to search for, It gives you actions from the menu that include that word, and even gives you the definition from Bing. If you find the action that you want, you can click on it and trigger it directly from this menu, or you can do more search results from the web. So don't forget to use the search capability at the top of Word. Number 37, File Open and Repair. Occasionally when you try to open a document in Word, it'll give you an error message saying the file is corrupt. There is a way in Word that you can try to solve this issue. Go to File, Open, and choose Browse to find your file location. Select the file but don't open it yet. Come down here to where it says Open and hit the down arrow and choose Open and Repair. This will scan through your document and it'll try to make any corrections if it finds corruption. Once the document's open, then you can turn around and save it under a different name and fix those errors. Number 38, Set Default Font. Have you ever wanted to change the default setting on your fonts when you open up a new document? There's a way to do that by opening up your font settings. Select the font that you want to change it to. Select the font size and any other settings you want, and set that as default. It will prompt you to do it for this document only, or for all documents based on the normal template. We're going to select all documents and hit OK. Not only can you change the default fonts, but you can also come over here to the Advanced tab, and you can set the scale and different settings for your documents, and those will be set as defaults as well. You have to close out of Word and open it back up again, but then it will default to your new font settings. Number 39, Split into columns. You can easily split your text into multiple columns in Word. Just select the text that you want, or Control A to select everything. Go up to the Layout tab and select Columns. Pick the number of columns you want, and it splits it into those columns. To format it to make it look a little better, you may want to justify the text, and now you have 2 even columns. Number 40, Embed a spreadsheet. Did you know you can insert a spreadsheet directly into your Word document? Just go to the Insert tab, select Object, and pick Microsoft Excel Worksheet from the list. There's a number of different items available here that you can import from, but we'll hit OK on this Excel spreadsheet. It inserts a table in Word and opens up Excel. Now when you fill in data and close the worksheet, it inserts that data directly into your document. You can double click this to open Excel again, but here's a trick. This time we're going to go to File, Save As, and hit Browse, and give this file a name, and save it. Now when you make changes to your numbers, it changes them directly into your document, because your Word document is linked directly to the spreadsheet. You can even update this worksheet separately from your Word document, and the next time you open it, it will show your new data. Hey, if you want to see more videos like this one, please subscribe, and if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to click the thumbs up and leave a comment. I really do appreciate your support.